Oh, radiant one. Welcome to your Cosmic Mama podcast. I'm your host, Annie Murphy. Today, we are talking to the team of Spark of Sophia because, well, we're really excited. We're really excited about what we're being asked to call forward, to call into being a container for you to experience the next phase of your awakening, to take from those places of your own individual healing and to bring the magic into form. And I can certainly say for myself, in this birthing of Spark of Sophia, well, I've had lots of really quiet times. I've had some hard times. I've had lots of growth. And in those places, I'm always wondering, like, well, what's next? Am I going to be doing anything? But I don't get it. As we let go and surrender and let go some more. And then she came in. And so the process for me of creation, I am a creatrix. There's no doubt about that. I enjoy all of it. I enjoy getting these things together for you. I enjoy creating solid, safe containers for you to access the wells of wisdom within, which is exactly what this is. So today, well, we're going to be talking to the team because we all have our own experience of Sophia. We all hold our own magic and have our own keys as to what we want to bring forward into this. So, won't you join us in the conversation? Won't you let it feel for you? Because as we talk today, there was so much of, oh, my body relaxes into that. My nervous system feels this. It resonates in my body. And I hope the same for you. If so, well, we're going to invite you to apply over at sparkofsophia.com. I'll share more at the end, but ready to do this? Exhale. Light a bowl, light a joint, light a candle. Let yourself come into the warmth, into the receiving of you. See inside. Because today, y'all, oh my God. Well, we officially announced Spark of Sophia yesterday. So it went out on social media. We sent some personal invitations. But today, for Cosmic Mama, well, I want you to know the team, the guides, because we've had a bit of a challenge putting into words what it is that we're doing, because we're not really doing anything in this movement of stillness, in this movement of inner. It's not about seeking outward, it's about going within. This is the invitation of Sophia, but well, I'm not going to be the only one to talk about it because that's no fun at all. I want to make sure that you know all of us. So you'll recognize Sarah and Dena, who were on our lovely Yeshua Christed Consciousness podcast recently. And Danielle, well, maybe you know her from Wild Awakening. Maybe you know her from Shama Mama D. Danielle is going to be on the next podcast as we get back to our conversations with the Divine Masculine. But for now, hey, Sarah Sears, would you let that velvety voice of yours open some sacred space for us today, please, love?
I would love to. Well, hello, friends. Go ahead and find yourself in a comfortable seat and close your eyes for just a moment, taking your gaze inward. And find a deep breath in, a deep breath out. Just coming into awareness now of your breath, the gentle rhythm of your heartbeat, and inviting the mind to quiet, gently shutting down the third eye and opening the ears and the heart to listen. As you breathe, take yourself deeper within. Be walking all of the thoughts of your mind down through heart center, breathing into them there. Fanning with your breath that spark of aliveness that is within you. And as you breathe and this flame becomes bigger, allow your attention now to come down to your womb, to your belly, to that space where your inner knowing resides. Notice here that well within you, that deep inner knowing, that darkness and that light from where you're creating and becoming. And in this space, just notice anything that you see, sense, or feel, recognizing that Sophia is the nothing. She is the everything. And she is the great paradox in which we get to play and discover. Take a moment now in this space with her, receiving anything from her that she may want you to take back to the now, to the new, saying goodbye. Take a full breath in, a full breath out, and slowly open your eyes, ready to play in this new world that we're about to create.
Oh, Mama, like that. Your words. I love your words, Sarah. You said a couple of things that just like sparked me, right? That sense of becoming, that new world that we're creating. So I think I would like to start with that as a conversation point. Because oftentimes when we're talking about we're creating a new reality, it seems so grandiose. So, can each of you, maybe in your own words, talk about what heaven on earth means, or why, or what the new means?
Well, absolutely. I'll start. For me, heaven on earth has been returning to that inner simplicity of recognizing that you know what you know and you feel what you feel, and that is 100% unique to you. And as you tap into that inner knowingness of recognizing that you are the you inverse, the universe is always collaborating in your favor to show you that you are in reality heaven on earth. And just like with a drum beat or a heartbeat, everything in nature naturally entrains in time. When we begin to discover that simplicity in ourselves and nourish our intuition, nourish our bodies, and lean into all of our senses, we find the joy that is the new. And then we get to weave it together in community, and we create a basket of something that is far beyond anything we've ever experienced.
The new, as you're saying it, it is that return to innocence. I'm not very biblical, as y'all know, but there's that idea of the meek shall inherit the earth, and Gaia started talking to me about it a few years ago. Of this vision of innocence, of purity, of true sovereignty. This is what we're being asked to bring forward. Don't always know how. And so, certainly in Spark of Sophia, we're desiring to weave this together, right? We're not seeking it from outside. We're desiring to find it from within and bring it all together. So, Sarah, thanks for that reminder of innocence, of the playfulness and the joy of the new, because it's so much easier than we're making it. Danielle Wilkinson, coming from Heaven on Earth, you want to share anything?
I'd love to. um, it's me, heaven on earth. Yeah, it is. It is about your surroundings, but it starts from within. And the word that keeps coming in is harmony, harmony, harmony. Um, it's finding that harmony and balance in everything, in all that we are, and in everything that we're doing. And it's also, like you mentioned, sovereignty, and sovereignty is so important because there's been so much. So I'm just gonna start with a little bit of my sovereignty journey. Just as a soul, like we're all these souls, and we've been incarnated into all these different bodies and beings and lifetimes, and we've accumulated so much, and a lot of it is really beautiful. It's knowledge. It helps, it helps us expand. And then some of it is not so beautiful. So for me, the new is letting go of that shit. So we can really be who we are meant to be. We are divine creators. And for me, Spark of Sophia is about tapping into that creatrix or creator inside of you, the divine spark, and dreaming our reality to echo that harmony. So it's from within and so without. So it's an embodiment, it's an experience, it's a frequency.
Well, and it's so good because I know that for me, as a many, many lifetime incarnated being, there is this knowing of another way. And I think for many years we've come together in these communities trying to figure out what that other way is. What I'm hearing from most of my clients right now is what's next, what's next, what's next. So as Sophia came in, it felt like a direct answer for what's next because we can't create it from the old. So this reclamation of sovereignty that comes in many, many forms, and especially as we're watching others in our community do it, I recognize my divinity. I choose to rise as creator creatrix, and I choose to bring this seed, this spark of another way forward. God damn, it's so juicy, y'all. Yeah, thanks. Hey, Dena Fields.
Hey y'all. Um, this, oh my goodness, I'm so excited to help cornerstone a template to create the new. What does that look like? We don't know yet, right? And I'm just so curious, like if you're feeling some type of pull or tug, um, you're to help create the new in this also. And that becomes the kaleidoscope. Like whoever decides to join in here, we all see differently, we all feel differently. And it literally, whoever's called to come in here creates that kaleidoscope of creating the new. And the thing that keeps coming up for me with heaven on earth is just a little, like, I mean, it's so expansive as we've all sort of talked about, but the thing for me this year has been living water and the importance of living water and that place of um the created waters within us that are flowing inside of me but also inside of you, and how that collective water is coming to life. And what does that look like? That's through a filter of love also. It's a purifying, yeah, it's a purity and innocence, fluidity, um and also where we get, I think where we sometimes create hell on earth is getting caught up in the future of I'm not where I think I should be, or looking back in the past like, oh my God, what did I do? Or but it's right here. It's right here in this center point, right here in this now. And we were created for such a time as this. So this, oh my
So good.
gosh.
Well, and that need for stillness, I think, cannot be stressed enough. For the last couple of years, I've sat in my stillness and sat in my void. I've got Gene Key 52 in several places, which is this invitation to stillness. And I'm like, what the fuck? So the stillness of like, there's something in here that I have to be quiet enough and I have to tend enough to listen to. We've been called together to collaborate. And this collaboration is still pretty new for me and pretty juicy and exciting, which is why I've chosen people that I trust implicitly. The need for community. I know that Danielle and I will both be offering in-person events in addition to the online global container, because it's that texture of things. Dena and Sarah might be offering that as well as we continue. It's that texture of things. It's being able to hug, it's being able to laugh, it's being able to like really be in living space. Community, important. I think I would like to speak a little bit to this idea as well, that what we're calling together is soul family. And for the four of us, we have been in soul family community for several years together. We've learned to trust each other. We have learned to turn to each other. We've learned the safety of being seen, which still feels radical and new at times. So I would like each of y'all, without me fucking asking names every time, would you please talk to me about what soul family has added to your life and reality? And I'll try not to cry too much, but no promises.
I can go on that. When you said being seen, it's about being felt. And I know you brought that to me, and how sacred that is. It's like a telepathy. It's just this symbiotic relationship among humans, and you don't have to have any masks. You don't wear any facades. You could just be 100% authentically you and raw, so that you could be that way all the time. And that's what I've learned in my journey with, all of the beings that have come in as soul family, how to be authentic. And the places that I didn't even realize that I wasn't even being authentic. But there's just so much, the hats that we wear, the daughter, the wife, the mother, the friend. But soul family, like none of those hats even exist. It's raw, it's beautiful, it's nourishing. That's the word. It doesn't feel depleting, it doesn't feel draining. And as you brought into the container of the Wild Awakening, being felt is so important. It's not just about being seen. It's about that resonance. And also in that resonance, when you're all vibing on the same frequency, that's when creation can happen. That's when beautiful communities can be built. All kinds of things happen because there's no hierarchy. There's no push or pull. It feels easy. It feels like flow.
I'll also offer that in my previous experiences in communities, in spiritual gatherings and groups, there's a lot of fucking trauma bonding. And it's gross and it's heavy and it's confusing. And you aren't sure as a sensitive being if it's your job to hold that space for another. So what I really celebrate about what we've been doing over the last few years is I don't think we have so much of that trauma bonding. We'll use Mama Gina's idea of swamping at times, and I'll call Dena and I'm like, girl, I just need to fucking go there. And it's this level of consent, of witness, of support, and of radical celebration too, which is where we come in. But Danielle, as you were talking a little bit, the safety of being seen and felt hasn't always been safe in some containers. Fuck. And that
Safety. That is a keyword.
Safety is huge. And I know that Dena will talk about it a little bit too, because we've been geeking out on that. The safety of a container to be yourself, to show up. Because in the past, where we have gotten into things has just been a little bit messy, and Perhaps it was necessary in our journey. Perhaps it slowed us down. But in so much empathy for others at times. So the sovereignty of what we're each individually coming to do and how we each sit and embody Sophia, I think is so important. And to be able to watch that from everybody, right? And that soul family too, of like, holy shit. It's really going to be something exciting.
Soul family gives you a place where you can be wholly integrated. Where, like for me in the past, there's so many different versions, when Danielle was speaking to the different hats that we wear, there's different versions of me. There's even, there's a Saturday version of Sarah versus a Tuesday version of Sarah that comes to the table in addition to the hats. So, in our soul family, I can speak to that. We have just intentionally edified over the last several years. We get to be authentically ourselves there and integrate all of those aspects of ourselves into one place. And you know, again, like I'll echo in previous spiritual communities, like obviously you trigger some people. You are triggered by some people, and those are your lessons and invitations into love. And I can say though, like in our family that we have been investing in with our time and our love and our energy, we have such a safe space that we can have hard conversations with one another from a place of love that also, just makes me internally melt and allows my nervous system to stay fully present, which is also, a new facet to being in soul family. So, um, yeah, I've really valued the fact that I can individually have these meaningful relationships with each of you, and we've had the opportunity to have containers where we're bigger than just you and I or the four of us, and then we get to play in person sometimes, which that's so magic, right?
It's so magic. And this place of unconditional love, I think that we've really practiced it. And so in Halls of Akasa, what we've been doing in the mysteries, in the Egyptian mysteries, this is what I'm speaking of for the last 4 years for many of us, and perhaps many of you who are here with us today too. Unconditional love has kind of been a little of the grounding that I've tried to come from. I have my own vision, I have my own expression, but Sarah, as I listen to you, I've learned so much from you about that place of safety to be seen and safety to have hard conversations. And when you say the nervous system, I'm like, oh, fuck yeah. Boy, we weren't talking about the nervous system 5 years ago, were we, y'all? This one is a very new one, but when you drop that in, I'm like, oh, my body just relaxes now. So I do want to invite those of you who are considering playing with us in Spark of Sophia to pay attention to how your body responds to us, to pay attention to what your nervous system does, right? We can have these ideas of like, oh, I want to. Does it feel safe in your body? Does it bring you into places of peace and stillness where you're curious within? Yeah, Dena, my sister, my bestie. Yeah, Dena and I are ridiculous. We share way too many details with each other. So soul family, soul sister, go.
So excited to even you guys that know me here in Nashville hear me talk about my soul family friends. And this is my group. And I know to have found a community that that allows me to be methodical and slow and juicy, and also to be able to trust what what I see, and to pull that out of me and allow me to express and to talk about it, and to help me form words with what I am going, like what is going on. I don't always have words so quickly. I have these sensations in my body first, and to be able to come to you all to process this, I'm like, oh my God, thank you. I really needed to just ramble that shit out. And then gave me some really good clarity on what is going on. And you were going through the same thing. And so, but you had some, it just felt a little different. But it's very interesting how we have been able to hold each other and support each other and not judge, but also welcome some of those hard places of conversation of like, are you sure that's what you're really wanting, or you actually did want that. And it's not what we get to help each other see around like the moat of the castle. Like, you guys are my friends. You're the moat. You get to help see what's going on around me also, and which has been wonderful, beautiful protection, but also freedom that I can keep my heart open, and not be afraid of that. And that is what I am stoked about with the spark of Sophia, with all of us, what the community, and some of you guys know here too in Nashville, I'm like, this is why you need to really pray about being a part of Spark of Sophia. It's this community in particular, like
And
this
as you
community.
say it, Dena, this place of refinement, I think is the word that you're saying, right? We refine each other. We bring out the
Yes.
best in each other. And that from a place of unconditional love, from a relaxed nervous system. Oh my God, it's so transformative. It is this place of intuition, right? I do things different than Sarah will. Sarah does things different than Danielle. This place of our own individual expression of Sophia, of wisdom, of magic, well, we aren't really sure about it at times. And so when we come into community, when we come into containers and we're like, well, I don't know if I'm really seeing that, like I'm having these experiences. And then the beauty, so Sophia is set up so that we have an Ignite session every month where we bring you into shamanic activation, when we bring you into guided meditation and some movement, the Ignite session. And then we move into the Spark session, which is on Thursday nights. The Spark sessions are really what we sometimes call Integration Nation. They're the places where we ping. They're the places where we get into what Dena's talking about, this place of refinement. Well, I had this experience, but I don't think it's related. We're like, wait. I fucking had the experience too. And we've watched over and over that we're all kind of experiencing the same thing or having the same insight, but each way that we come about it is so different that we may have dismissed it before. So where I get really excited with Spark of Sophia is in this sparking of each other. Oh my God, how your intuition is going to come online differently, how you'll be validated differently, how you will gain faith in your intuition that then becomes something stronger that we bring into the world together. Yeah.
Which is the new. That's creating the new. That's sparking the new.
Sarah, would you talk a little bit about weaving? Because I know that you've done it within our family. But I love the way you talk, even as we were beginning to meet each other for the first time, which, God damn, we got to do a lot of last summer. And the way that you talked about it was so, it made sense in my body when you said it. So give me your words, Mama. Give me your words.
Well, weaving to me is being intentional with how we're moving our energy. So we have a group of friends, and last year, my intention for myself was to meet each of you in person. And when I plotted each of your names down and then started to see how the connections, each time I met one of you, started to overlap, we were creating this beautiful warp and waft where we were fortifying one another and the strength of our container every time we met in person. And I was lucky enough to meet all of my friends in person that I've been chatting with for the last 4 years last year. So it was so magical. But, when we came together, we had the opportunity to co-regulate.
Can I also say, when we came together, we have a vision of like, oh my God, we're going to do so much magic. It's going to be crazy. But Sarah
Oh
was
my gosh.
literally like stoned most of the time in short shorts in my backyard pulling weeds. So the beauty of like how we also came together, it wasn't from this lofty, like, we're going to do big work. It was exactly as you're saying, Sarah, in like
Yeah.
the most human of ways we met each other. Thanks for pulling my weeds and getting my yard ready.
Girl, and giving you a blow up dragon.
Oh, I fucked the blow. They're like, Sarah found this blow up dragon, y'all. And I'm like, what in the fuck? And she's like, I have been looking for one for you for a year. And I'm like, literally have a red blow up dragon in my yard now. Thanks, Sarah.
So being friends with me means I'll pull your weeds in an apron in the rain and
Well,
light everything on fire for a week.
the magic wasn't like from this, like, you're going to do big things. The magic was really from this spark of simplicity and authenticity and ease and joy of just
Presence.
being with each other.
And
Yeah,
in
presence.
presence. And so like weaving requires an act of presence because it's, if you think about, did you ever make pot holders when you were a kid? You guys? Did you ever go to Cracker Barrel? I talk about Cracker Barrel a lot and get like one of those pot pot holder looms. It's super easy, basic weaving 101 for kids. And this is what my mother gave me to do to keep busy when I was little. But you set up your loom and then you literally start doing over under um, back and forth until you create a pattern that is this stable structure that then can be removed from the loom and utilized. So for me, like with my friendships, like I look at meeting each one of you as that opportunity to go over and under and around and through and um, braid so that we're creating something strong um, between each other that will carry us through this chapter of life. And part of creating something new is recognizing that we don't have to show up with any of the old template or emotions anymore. So we're breaking up with fear and obligation and guilt and just showing up in radical presence and following the fuck yes.
Oh, and can we say, anyone who might be considering, like, a fuck yes is the only thing that we'll accept. If you're like, I don't really know, or I'm not really feeling, that's a no, and it's okay. The fuck yes means,
So yeah, so drink a lot of water and then put your hand on your heart and sit in a chair or stand up, maybe one hand on your belly, and ask yourself, like, is this a yes or a no for me? And your body, if you're really hydrated and in alignment with yourself, will actually lean you forward into your fuck yes or push you back into your fuck no. So
really
there you go.
hydrated, and I stopped right there. I'm like, I don't know if you should do really
Hydrated.
high. Yeah, the weaving has been profound, and with Sophia, I keep seeing this vision, and maybe I'll ask you all what your vision of Spark of Sophia is too. This vision of when we come together, it begins to strengthen. When we can witness each other, it becomes. So having a goal, I think, is very masculine. Having, thank you, in this dying Akashic reality, in this expiring Akashic reality, better word, we've lived in so much structure and been told what the world is, and we're like, it's something else. So as we move into Spark of Sophia, it is that place.
I think what you're trying to say is just coming back to to radical presence, because we did that with Wild Awakening. We didn't have a structure because we're like, what the fuck? We don't even know what this is. This is bigger than us. This is bigger than our brains. We can't conceptualize it. So we need to just go into it. And while you're in it, it creates. And that's what radical presence is all about. It's being in that moment, in the now, and everything just reveals itself, and we do that together, and that's where the weaving comes in. And that's why we have no idea what this could even look like. It's just constantly, it's in the womb right now. So it's going to birth, and it'll
And
continue
it's
to
the
evolve.
fluidity of those living waters, because the living waters are fairly new in my body to experience and access. So the fluidity of a container that isn't fixed, that isn't defined, that isn't, you sometimes see those things where you're like, you're going to get this, this, and this. And I talked to y'all about it, but I had gotten an email from a life coach and she's like, our January challenge is this. And we're going to go in. And I'm like, and I actually did send a response and I'm like, I'm not looking for any more challenges. I am in my moment of yin. I am in my stillness. I am in my quiet. I don't want a challenge. I have enough of those in the world. So I think the words that we've been playing with here is there's an invitation. This is not a challenge. This is not something you're going to get. This is not something you're going to do. And I've been really mindful in the words that as they're flowing through me. This is not another thing to do. This is not something you put on a calendar that has to be done, that needs your effort. I really am seeing it a little more like church. You put this on your calendar as a time to listen to the quiet within, and you prioritize it by doing that. And then you just get our fine ass, sexy, loud, obnoxious asses at times who are kind of encouraging and we're fire tenders in this way, right? We want to play with you. And maybe we can, thanks, I know I've got lots, but who do we want to see in here and what do we want to see them become? Because as I've been sitting with it, well, I know lots of y'all over the years, and I know that you have fucking keys in there, and I can only do my best in a one-on-one session to like, and through the halls of Akasa, through the Egyptian mysteries, like, again, we've given lots of like information. Here's how. Spark of Sophia, I'm like, no, I want to watch who you are now. I want to see it fucking ignite. I want to watch your magic come all the way online and see what happens when. With no structure, with no teaching, with just this devotion to the temple of you, is some of the words I was playing with yesterday.
Well, like, let's look too, like, at a spark. What happened? Like, a baby little spark ignites the fire. We all also, like, the thing that keeps coming up for me too in this, I don't remember where it is in the Bible, but I know it is a Bible verse, and it's talking about King Saul during war. The prophets would set on a mountain, and when the king, he was not a prophet, when King Saul would go up into the mountain with the prophets, the king actually started prophesying. So a king becomes a prophet in the midst of prophets. So here we are in this community, and we all have these different gifts, different mysteries that we remember, these different things that are online within us, and we are a spark of the divine. But my spark is a unique spark also, and who am I to ignite in this? But also I'm watching you as a spark of the divine, and this is a safe container for you to be able to light yourself on fire, light your creation, that creativity, that expression, that divine spark, allow that to come online. And there are gifts that are hidden within you that I can see those gifts, and I may have that gift ignited already within me, and you don't know that gift's lit up. It's not lit up yet, but I can like fan your flame. I can fan that spark right there, and I can help turn on that gift, and that's what this container's doing.
Dena and I are both projectors, human design. So in that way, like, oh my God, I can see all your fucking magic. I can see exactly where it is that you light up and where you play and where you come online. So private mentoring is something that we're all available for as well. We're doing a special rate that is way lower than my normal rate for those who are in Spark of Sophia with us. But I like that you said that, Dena, because at times it's so fucking easy for me to see what somebody else needs to do. It is so god dang apparent and frustrating of like, it's not that clear in my own reality at times. That's why I have to go into the stillness to find it. But for others, you've got the four of us who are witnessing this, who might also reach out and we're like, hey, have you thought about? That's interesting because I don't know that we have really defined what our role as guides is. I don't know that we need to define what our role as guides is. But as we talk about it, and y'all must know, like, we're having this conversation with you today. We're having lots of conversations on our own as well of what this looks like and how we want to bring it in. The ability to witness, the ability to cheerlead. I know Dena with her. Dena has all these fancy emojis that she does. I know y'all can't see her screen, but I can, and I'm like, okay. We're in great playfulness with this. And we want to stoke you more than anything. We want to see what it is that you do, not in a like program of here's how you do it and what you need to do, not in a structure, but in the safety of playfulness and curiosity and community. And it's yummy. It's really yummy.
I also think the foundation that we're setting, like again, we don't really have a structure, but we have a solid foundation. And the container that we're calling forth is for those who are ready. Like you said, they're looking for the next thing. Like we've done all this work. I know, like I've been on this journey, I don't even know how many years now, this awakening or spiritual journey and all of the peeling away of the layers, all of the healing. But I'm ready. I'm ready to create. I feel like I'm at that point where, yes, of course, we're always healing and evolving, but it's time to fully accept myself exactly as I am, as the beautiful divine creator that I am, and put that energy forth into something that's bigger than me. And I feel like that's what we're calling for. We're calling forward those of you that are looking for the next thing, that have done some work on yourself. You've peeled away some of those layers, and you've had to take a look at your shit through those layers, and you've come out the other side, and you're ready, and you're ready to be part of something that's bigger than yourself, that is just going to constantly be growing and evolving as we move with it, as we flow with it in the sacred waters of Sophia.
We've talked a lot about creator creatrix, and so I love, Danielle, this like ready, right? We've done the work, we've done it on our own. It's been a fucking ass kicking. I asked Sarah to help me with words on the website at one point, and I'm like, I don't want it to sound so negative where I'm like, we've had our asses handed to us. But anyone who has been on this spiritual journey, it is not always easy. That on your own is even harder and more confusing at times. So this ignition of the inner creator creatrix. Oh. And I'm also cautious with words of like, you're not looking for what's next. You're ready for what's next because it's already in here. The looking is going to set you outside where you give away your power over and over. Fuck all that. We're not doing that. This is the quieter one that has been waiting for you for a long time. And when we say creator creatrix, I also want to make sure that my fellows know this is not just for women. Sophia is not only an invitation for women. I've reached out to a few of my my favorite men clients, and I'm like, hey, we would love to have you here. So if you're hearing this and feeling it, and you're like, well, I don't have a womb, and I don't know what the fuck Sophia is, and it's made. Sophia is for everyone. We would love to be in greater community with the masculine as they are igniting and bringing their inner creators online too.
Well, and to me, I think that the community aspect of Spark of Sophia is the next part of journey. Since so many of us have been in like these layers of hermit mode over the past several years, and we've been in that refinement and learning those lessons, aka having our asses handed to us. It's time to integrate and play in community with the lessons that we've learned.
I was giggling over here because that's exactly it. Refine. Oh, don't you have nicer words than I do at times? Danielle and I will talk about this in the next podcast a bit too, but it is that inner union of masculine and feminine that we have each cultivated, that you've probably cultivated as well. And when those two are in harmony, well, then we get the spark, right? Then we get the divine child. Then we get this something new that is coming online for us, that has a vision of what it wants to create and maybe hasn't known how. So I think how is where we often get blocked, right? Well, how do I do it? And how do I make money doing it? Thanks. Any of y'all who know me, well, you know I am just a big kid in here, and I watched Muppets Mayhem, and Muppets Mayhem, Janice, it's not about the how, it's about the wow. And that's been my new mantra in every way. So, can we talk about what this vision for each of us is? Well, I mean, I think we're doing that, but okay, better question. How has Sophia called you? What's relationship with Sophia been like? And I'll qualify this a little bit with, we all have our own dance of Sophia within. So when we've been asked, well, what's Sophia? We're not answering that question because I have my own experience. So I'll ask y'all, as you feel ready, to share what your unique experience of Sophia is and how she's ignited you.
Well, as you were talking, there was something else that was coming through too, but it goes into this, so it's all perfect. Because I think Sarah said it's like the community that comes together to play. I mean, there's nothing more radical present than play. And I, again, and we talked about our spiritual journeys and how it could be tough at times. And I had a really hard lesson where I don't have to suffer in order to expand. And in my own journey, I found so much expansion through joy and through play. And that really is pure presence. So that's how Sophia embodies through me. It's in the presence, it's in the play, it's in the joy. And also, I've always been a visionary. I've always been able to dream things into being. And I'm like, holy shit, how the fuck? Like, I literally just thought about that. And then the next day, it happens. And I'm tired of other people creating our fucking reality for us. And I know how powerful I am. And I know how powerful all of you are. And I'm ready to play with you all and create something that is heaven on earth, literally, that we can be joyful and play and really just feel free.
There's
That's
so
what it's
much of the
about.
spiritual journey that has felt hard, right? And there's so much of it that's like either serious or there's a right or a wrong way to do it. So, Danielle, I so appreciate, well, all of you, but especially what you've added to my life personally, too, which is exactly that, right? We are not beings who came here to suffer. That era of suffering is that era of the Akashic reality that is dissolving. We are no longer here to suffer. I'm claiming it as my era of splendor, which is what we're kind of rolling into. And here in 2024, fuck, I'm feeling it. Oh my God, I'm feeling it. Sitting still for so long. But I want to just make this implicitly clear that this Spark of Sophia container is one that is joyous and one that is playful. Is one that recognizes your perfection, not your wrongness, not what needs to be fixed, not we're not here to do that. In our growth journey, where you said, Danielle, that we're not here to suffer. But there are moments of contraction. And contraction, fuck, y'all, is uncomfortable. Even whenever I got this sweet little honey that I'm getting to love on right now, like the growth of that, the contraction of that, it's uncomfortable, but it's no longer suffering. And we get to discover together, like maybe what that edge is, maybe what that flicker is that's a little bit new. I'm not going to go into my suffering. I'm not going to go into my pain. I've cleaned my family stories. I've cleaned my own shit. I know my nervous system. I can own my stuff. Like, we are in new era, y'all. So to play in that and to play without an expectation, to play without, well, as you said, we have a very good foundation, but we don't have a how-to and a format because we're not in the how, we're in the wow.
Dena, aren't you Janice?
Oh my God.
Yes, we did do that. Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
Yeah. We each have our own Muppet, you guys. I really resonate with Dr. Teeth, and Dena is Janice.
Yeah.
And I am Gonzo all the way. So yeah, I forgot about that. We did have in one of our Egyptian mystery schools, just so you know how serious this is, y'all. Like we're all like, okay, so what Muppet are you? Thank you, Leslie, for bringing that in for us. 'Cause we're very real. We're very disciplined in here.
I'll say for me, Andy, that like the journey with Sophia has been to not focus on finding solutions or focus on questions. It's been learning to be radically present in the moment with myself and then with others. And I'm just excited to continue to breathe into the expansion of what that community looks like for us, and to maybe show or bring forth an experience for the people that join us, where they can tap into that knowingness for themselves as well.
There's such joy, Sarah, in being able to see somebody else like claim their light and claim their fire, right? All of us as spiritual mentors, we have had those experiences. It's why I continue to do private session. Like, fuck, there's nothing that I love more than to find it in there, for you to claim it and bring it online. Oh man, like let me be your happy little cheerleader who's like, yes, 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 go, go, go.
I have the perfect cheer for everything. So
I invited my hairstylist into our container yesterday. And she had talked at one point in time, I don't think I'm oversharing too much of her stuff. She had talked about one point in time about like creating a side business where she's just a cheerleader. She's like, pay me for 20 minutes and I will like, fuck yeah, let's go. Because she is all that positivity, a little Pisces fucking love, which is why she's also very good with hair. But she does like fill you up. And so I know that that is the way that we all show up. And it won't just be in that place of like, you're doing great, because that's not authentic. That's not present. That's not real. If we can help you refine in a way of like, it just seems like if you just like shift it a little bit, it'll be a lot easier. We're here for that.
That place of Sophia, what has I can get pretty serious. And Sophia, I feel like I'm like, I don't know if I've met Sophia, but that's sort of the thing. It's you can't really label it. So I do sometimes have a little hard time of even calling that creative force a name of Sophia. To me, it she he it reminds me of like that it feels a slightly, I feel like it's an exploration of the feminine side of the divine. That's what this is feeling like for me. It feels effervescence, it feels restful, it feels playing, it feels deep, it feels like the place before creation. But it's also this curious place of like more than Gaia, more than Earth, more than it's this feminine side of the ultimate divine. That's what this sort of feels like to me, in exploring that and getting to know that a little bit more.
There was something yesterday that came up for a client, and it was so beautiful because the way that Sophia illuminated herself to us in session was, I'm the one who soothes and recognizes all needs. So when we've been in our places of wounding on this journey, maybe I've got a mother wound, maybe I've got a father wound, maybe I've got a partner wound. Sophia is that great nurturer within. She's the one who has the balm for everything. And that invitation to her, because that's the words that I keep using. It's an invitation. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. There's an invitation, and it feels really good, that invitation. And I want to fucking set aside some time to go sit and listen. And in my busy world, cooking and cleaning and shoveling fucking snow yesterday, y'all. Not that that's surprising for Denver, but we had a lot of it. I can't always prioritize that time for my own stillness in the way that I want. but I want to go in and be tended. I want to go in and get the balm that will help this feel better. That isn't me just looking at the ego layers of it, because I know my tendency. I got an ego. That ego is a very good teacher, because that ego shows me where my limitations are. But sometimes I'm so in the ego of it, or in the pain story of it. And this is for me personally right now, is I'm in relationship, and relationship, well, that's where my core wound is. And it's good and it's beautiful and it's healing, but my ego is like, ouch, I'm out, I'm out. Yeah, my ego is just like, run. Cut and run. That's not an invitation into Sophia, but Sophia would, by sitting with her, she would offer me something else that helps me evolve the wounds and have a new way. She illuminates a new way. And Dena, you said also, like, you know, my relationship with the void. Well, that's my relationship with the void. But it's this place of uncreated. It's this dream of what could be that hasn't been fulfilled yet. That's a little of where I drop into Sophia. There's something that's supposed to be done here that hasn't been done yet. And I know that I'm incarnated to do it.
Well, we all have it within us, right, to create, you know, like we were talking about earlier. But we have also these things that we've inherited that have been passed down, you know, generationally, or societal programming. You know, we have these things that attach to us that are like nodules or encapsulated trauma, right, within our body, within our heart. And so the point of, you know, getting down to that place within us, within each of us, that place past the void, that place right before creation, because we've all got that. We all have that place where that living water does stir up. Where, and so to allow the balm, you know, to come to those places of softening, whether once again it's generational or societal or whatever, allow that balm to come to soften so that we can expand our heart and express through heart. So that the heart, you know, does, and that's the whole point of the journey, right? I mean, that it's not the destination, it's the journey, but it's that continued place of expansion of the heart.
Well, and safer to be us, right? We talked about the safety of the container. We talked about authenticity. But when we are in other places where it is not safe or okay to be us, or to think the weird conspiratorial thoughts that we do when we're looking for insurance, what we have found in our community is like, no, I fucking agree with you. We can find some level of coherence. We can find levels of, I'm not crazy to think this thing that everybody else in my world has maybe told me I was crazy about. Because that isolation of craziness makes me doubt myself and makes me shut down. So to let those sparks of Sophia, and I have been playing with her both in water and fire, right? Because the spark of her is where we're very much at, but those living waters is my well from which I pull from. It's a really cool dance that in my past, not being seen for who I was, not being okay to be who I was as a psychic kid, well, all of that had its own wounding and trauma as well. So as we soften, and as other people witness us, and as other people are like, it's really fucking cool how you, boy, don't you know that's what we all need.
With the witness is the affirmation. And we talked about that. Like, it's so important because it's a collective agreement. That's what consciousness is. That's what creation is. And as a community, we have that collective witness, and which becomes an affirmation, which can become a creation. And I feel like when you were talking about the fire and the water, well, holy shit, our whole earth is lava. right? It comes from the waters. The volcanoes, the fires come through the waters and create the earth. It creates the foundation. It creates its creation. That's where it comes from. The fire through the waters. So yeah, as you were talking, for me, when and we talked about this before, when you said being felt, not just being seen, but being felt, that's the affirmation. Like, that's where your nervous system can relax, because you're no longer in survival. You're no longer in fight or flight. You're no longer in, I need to get the fuck out of here, or I need to hide. You could thrive now. And that's the difference. You become the artist of your life instead of just hiding out in fight or flight.
Some words, girl. Thank you. It's safe to be you now. I think that's what I've learned over the last several years with y'all. It's safe to be me now. And in that, let's also recognize like the journey of this. I can also engage with my family differently. I engage with the world differently. So, what we are doing in these soul families, what we are doing in these truly sacred, safe containers, is not just, it's not just about my spiritual journey, it's about all my human journey. Makes me a better human, makes me a better person. And for this little cozy Cancer, right? Safe to be me. Well, fuck, it took 47 years. I mean, right around 40, I was like, I got it. I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks. I thought I did. I really, I really did. And I really didn't. And the ease of it, right? Once we get there, where we've worked and done our work and we've earned the safety of us, and we've sat and tended the temple of us. Oh my fucking Danielle, I know you and I talk about this in the next podcast, but like this idea, I didn't know it was so easy to be me. I didn't know it was so easy to lead. I keep like, oh, what are other people doing? And trying to create a model based upon what others are doing. And it hasn't worked for me because I'm fucking weirder than most people. It's okay. I love my weird. I'm fucking awesome. We haven't known how. We haven't known the wow.
You didn't feel safe to before. Maybe that's what it is. And it's, once we can get to that place, because you do get to that place where it's like, fuck everything, and you become the radical. And this is what I found. It's not one way or another. It's finding that polarity within myself. That's what ease feels like. That's what true Santosha feels like. That's balance. That's Sophia. Sophia is that divine balance of the masculine and the feminine within. It's that divine unity that we all talk about. And that's Christos. Sophia is the energy. It's the Christ that we all are. We all are that. And yeah, that's why we're here, to peel away all those fucking layers so we can get to that beautiful, juicy core of us. And it is easeful. It is peaceful. And that is heaven on earth.
And I want everybody to just drink that up because I felt it. I feel you. I feel all of you. I've learned so much from each of you that has benefited my life and made me more safe to be me in every way. So the blessing of this call of Sophia, to be able to put you three in front of people that I love, I'm so fucking excited.
We love you so much.
We all love each other, and like that's
We love each other
right?
so
Like,
much.
it's not just sometimes a family, like I can recognize with my family, I'm like, I love you. It's like a way of like close it up. When I say I love you to you guys, like all of me softens.
It's felt.
It's felt. Yeah, that was a biggie at Wild Awakening. I thought that I wanted to be seen. I thought that I wanted to be heard, but I don't give a shit for those things. I want to be felt. And I think it's the beauty of what we're playing with, and even inviting people into Spark of Sophia. Sarah, I'd love to hear your contributions on this too, because we really can't, I mean, we've already said it, right? We can't describe it. So would you maybe talk about what people might feel if it does feel like a yes in their body?
I would say that if this resonates with you, you'll feel that embodied yes. Maybe there is this desire at the front of your heart to be seen, heard, felt, witnessed, or just a place for you to show up and receive. And I know for me, sometimes I just need those spaces where I feel like I can just show up and receive. I don't have to do anything. So, if you're in that space where um, you're ready to melt and discover more of who you truly are as divinity, um, we would love to have you and to remind and remember alongside you.
A place of softening, a place to receive. I love that in my body. Not a place to do, because I don't have space to do more. And my doing, we worked on this a lot in the last year as a community too. My value is not in my doing. My value is in my stillness. My value. So one of my hopes for Spark of Sophia is that in de-armoring in some of these ways, it's a Sarah word, in de-armoring in some of these ways, I lost it. Wow.
We set the armor down so that we can be present in this moment, just as we are. I'm also excited in Spark of Sophia. If you're looking for a place for an intentional movement practice, and you've not participated in Dena's fabulous moving meditations with us. Danielle and I are also yoga teachers as well. There's an important piece of like allowing the energy to be moved through your body as well. So, that there's an invitation there also to be able to receive in that movement practice piece.
The way that we have envisioned it so far is each month when we come together in those Ignite sessions, there is movement. There has to be, in order for you to be able to go into the stillness. There'll be shamanic meditation, guided journeys in. And then we'll come out of those spaces and begin to like share a little bit of experiences that solidify it. We've even been shown by Sophia like how to weave those pieces of the four of us together too. So the joy at being able to collaborate and play with y'all who I've gotten to sit with in my own personal life so much, where I can show up. I think I did this on our last group call, didn't I? I'm like, I don't have it tonight. I have nothing to bring. I have not worn makeup. If you could smell a vision me, you would be very unhappy about it. The safety to be all of self in those ways is profound. And learning, no, it's not even learning, it's discovering, right? Because I'm really like working on my own language around like seeking or looking for. Those aren't it. Me being able to relax enough and discover within myself how we create together and what that looks like, so that you can learn and experience all of our different ways. Because the way that I will lead you into Sophia is going to be different than the way that Dena will lead you into Sophia. And in those places, as you were led into Sophia, you're not there to extract or gain or do. It's a place of receiving, to come home to more of you. And in our witness, it becomes. She's so hot, said that to me many years ago. She's like, in my witness, it becomes. So the invitation into sacred feminine in this way, into true feminine energies, which is for both men and women. Like, men need to learn this as much as we do. We just might have a head start because we're required to. That my action is not in my doing. My value is not in my productivity. There's a different countenance as we've cultivated these energies within us that is felt. And Sarah, can I just say, the gift of you today and watching that rainbow light dance all over your face right now. It's a little bit on your collar, and I'm like, oh, do you have a luminous little just rainbows
All the time.
all the time.
The word that you guys know that keeps coming up for me this year is effervescent. This year feels effervescent. And whenever you take a body of water and you put heat on it, what happens? The water starts to become effervescent. And that's right before the boiling point, right? And we get to play on these bubbles. Like what flame, like what is stirring the living waters within you, and what is it wanting to create? What are you being called to alchemize? And that, definitely, I mean, it feels like movement, like especially all of us being yoga instructors too, there's got to be some movement that happens, and that's part of the play, and like allowing things to bubble up, physically. But also in that place of playing, you're going to see your creativity also start to spark. And that may look like a collection of words, like a poem, or it may look like a painting. It may look like some photography, but we think that there's going to probably be, a creative force creative force that wants to be expressed through you. And I'm sort of looking forward to seeing how that is going to manifest. That's what also feels like the kaleidoscope thing happening. That's also effervescent. It's this fractaled, multi-dancing, playing light and bubbles. So what's that going to look like for you on canvas or on paper via pen or paint or
in
what?
real life?
Yes.
If your life is the masterpiece, and you begin to basically create the life of your dreams.
I feel like the movement is also about bringing it from these planes into this plane, into this three-dimensional plane, bringing all of that magic that we experience together. I know for me, my yoga journey, part of it is to move the energy so I could sit in stillness, but also part of it is about so I can embody all of the stuff that I experience in the other realms into this body, into this earth plane, and anchor it here. And that could look like movement. It could look like we said, painting. It could look like dance. It could look like using the vibration of your voice, whatever that creativity looks like. And Sarah, like you said, exactly. And that's life. That's radical presence in every moment. We're always creating. So bringing it from these places, where we find that still point and pulling it down into this three-dimensional plane, that's anchoring heaven on earth.
We've listened to Mark Gaffney on Aubrey Marcus talk quite a bit about this new story. For me, as soon as Mark Gaffney talked about the cosmo-erotic universe, I'm like, oh, fuck, I'm in. So those conversations stir me. They spark me. They ignite me. But I want to just drop it in here, too, of we're being asked to write a new story. We're being asked to hold a new vision of what this world can be in harmony, in authenticity, in sovereignty, in safety, in beauty, in joy. So underneath this spark of Sophia, right, there is this expression of creativity. There is this expression of you. There's this stillness of you. But in the larger container, in these weavings, as Sarah has talked about, well, we're hoping that together we can also start to come to coherence on what that new story is, come into agreements on what that new story and new world can be. Because I can walk outside of my house all the time and be like, well, that doesn't seem right, as we've got all of these migrant families coming to Denver that are being dropped off here, that are in sub-zero temperatures, doing their best. That's not how I want the world or agree that the world should be. What's a new vision for it? So in our community spaces, those will be on the Thursday evenings and all the time over at Mighty Networks, because y'all know how I love Mighty Networks. Mighty Networks has been a very good, larger container for our community to participate and connect in. That's not Facebook. Conspiracy theorist much? Mighty Networks has been, for me, a safer place that we can express all that we are. So in Mighty Networks, we will have opportunities between sessions to connect with each other, to share our art, to ask for some support or witness, to do these in ways that allows us to soften, allows us to connect. For myself, my dreams lately have been insane crazy, like insane. And they aren't of a new world. I really wish they were, but my dreams have been very loud portals for me lately. So let your dreams be very loud portals for you as well, because it is direct communication from a highest self to this. It's not your brain just working out shit here. In Mighty Networks, we have a container that we get to share and connect on a more ongoing basis. As stuff is coming up and as stuff is brewing. And I know that I usually get on there every day and I'm like, ooh, what's going on? So there is this joyous participation because I love watching you become.
We just invite you to join us. We're excited to bring this container forward as a place for each of us to set aside those past versions of ourselves that have kept us in the old reality. And I'm ready to experience a new mystery with all of you. So I hope that you come play with us.
The new mystery. The seeds that were buried that haven't even gotten to be harvested and expressed yet. That's the mystery.
I just want to say it's such an honor to work with these ladies and to be a part of this. It feels so beautiful. The energy, the four of us, like the way that we get to weave together, it creates a really beautiful foundation. And I'm so excited if you're feeling this at all. I'm so excited to see what you get to bring to this and what this is going to look like. Because it's so mysterious right now, because it's pending on you. Like it really is pending on you.
You know, no pressure in that, but like we can only, we're holding something over here, but until y'all get in here and play, like we aren't really sure what's going to happen. So in this invitation, as we're all saying it, like, we want to play with you. We want to play. Like, would you come please play with us? So that we can answer our own individual calls as well.
I just want to say how excited I am, like a child. And I feel like that's the place. That's what I want to feel always, like that excitement about life. Like going in with awe, like eyes wide open, not knowing what to expect. And I'm so giddy over just what's going to create, and who we get to play with, and the fact that the four of us, get to play together. And I don't even know what's going to come of it. Like, I just feel like it's just going to keep growing and evolving. So it just feels just exciting.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm really excited. Like, I keep using that word, but it's just about the art of creation and having that witness. And in that witness, it is so.
Yeah, the excitement is also what I will point y'all to when you're feeling into this. Do you feel that same thing that we're talking about? And you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know what that is. Don't let the I don't know what it is be the thing. Don't I've tried to shift away from the word understanding into inner standing. We want to give you a lived experience, which is what a mystery school does. And I'm also going to be real practical because, hey, this is what we're here for as well. So on January 27th, we will be going on Instagram Live and having a live Q&A. So in case you're like, what the fuck? What the fuck? In case you have those real questions, well, we have created a space to be able to try and address that. On February 1st, we're going to be doing our first free live event for you, because we want you to have an experience of like, what the fuck are y'all doing in there? We will do that as a mini session for you so that you can experience all of us, but you can really access something within yourself. If that feels good, well, on February 17th, we will begin with our first of the Spark of Sophia events, and we'll go for 6 months. So we have, again, as Danielle said, that foundation. We know what our monthly themes are. We know when things are happening. When you apply, we'll give you that calendar so that you can know when things are happening and make sure that it works on your schedule as well. Practical. As it's beginning to rain on Danielle and she's got to move. So if that doesn't feel like a, hey, we're complete here, I think we're complete here. I'm so grateful that you were with us today. Well, I'm so grateful that you're here every day, right? Because Cosmic Mama podcast would be nothing without you. I'm not that extroverted. I'm actually quite introverted. So I thank you for being here. I thank you for exploring with a curious heart what Spark of Sophia might have for you. I love you guys. Each time we get together, I feel... That's a technical term, in case you don't know. I loved our conversations today because it sparked something for me. It ignited something within me. That's ignited, well, that's mine. And it's yours. So when you apply over at Spark of Sophia, well, we're also going to give you an invitation, your first initiation into the temples of Sophia. We'll also give you access to our free event on February 1st. And if you want to join us over on Instagram, January 27th, I'll get times for you. I just don't have them right now because, I don't play with those that much anymore. I don't. I'm in the era of Shisahat. I'm in the era of space and what's possible. And Sophia, to remember something that is so old, something that is so home, and something that is so easy and joyous within. So we're here at any point in time for your questions, and we'll do our best to answer them. But we will be getting next time back to our conversations with and about divine masculine as we seek to bring into ourselves greater sacred union so that it can mirror outside of us and move our world forward as well. I'll see you next time.